Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good day and welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here today. Today is April 16th, 2021. And thank you for tuning in. Let's get started. You know what? China started importing gold again. That's one of the big things in the news. Let's get started and let's open up the charts right here and let's take a look. Where's the China story? China opens its borders to multi-billion-dollar gold imports. So this is what's going on right now. It says Beijing, China has given domestic and international banks permission to import large amounts of gold into the country. Five sources familiar with the matter said, potentially helping to support gold prices after months-long decline. China is the world's biggest gold consumer, gobbling up hundreds of tons worth of tens of billions of dollars each year. Its imports have plunged as a coronavirus, but China's economy is rebounding strong since the second half of last year. So Chinese economy is rebounding right now, and they're opening up these imports of gold, these flows into China gold. Now, this was going on for a long period of time. You know, you know what they'll do? Seriously? I mean, this is going to be one of those things where you're going to say, seriously? That's what they really do? They do something called leasing gold out. This is what they do. And what they'll do is they'll go into the vaults where these countries have stored gold for eons, made big stacks of gold out in their central bank or whatever, and their big vaults of gold and everything. And they'll take some of that gold and they'll do what's called leasing it into the market, which is basically selling it into the market for a certain period of time. And the idea is that it's going to save them storage fees and everything else, And then they're going to buy it back when the lease expires, after maybe the lease is for 10 years. Well, when the lease expires, then they're supposed to go into the market and buy all that gold back again. Supposedly at a cheaper price. But that's, on paper it looks great anyway, so they sign it and they sell their gold into the market. Well, they were doing that for a long period of time. China was the one to buy it, and that buyer of the gold, and they're shipping it into China, and they smelt it down into these 1 kilogram size gold bars, and they just basically stack it in their vault. So it's moving from west to east. What's happening here is China started that flow again. Now, what else we got to look at here is we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is running into a little snag with Turkey here. Bitcoin payments are to be banned in Turkey now after confidence drops in the lira. This is going to be repeated. The reason why is this confidence is not just going to drop in the lira. Confidence is going to start to drop in the dollar. Confidence is going to start to drop in the Great British Pound. Confidence is going to start to drop at a certain point in time in the future. I've predicted this is going to happen probably sometime in 2022. And so we have to watch for this, an attack on the cryptocurrencies when they see that their fiat currencies are starting to fail. They're going to attack, and they're going to, the bans is going to be the word that we're going to look for here. Bans or banned, Now, ultimately, do I think this will destroy Bitcoin? Heck no, it ain't going to destroy it. But it could have a negative effect upon the price. And this has had a negative effect upon the price. I think the price was what? 63,000. It's dropped it back to like 61,000. I think the price is starting to rebound today. Let's get in there and take a look at what the prices actually are. Let's start with silver today. Silver is up 22 cents. 26.05 right now for silver. And silver's been running strong lately. We've seen it. It was down near 24, and 25s, and now it's up in the 26s. This could be the start of something big, Now let's take a look at gold. Gold's at $17.79 today. It's up $15.40. So gold's running even a little bit stronger than silver today. And they seem to be, gold and silver right now seem to be holding these gains. So far, so good, guys. Okay, now we're going to switch over and take a look at the cryptocurrencies today. 2207 billion, and we're looking at Bitcoin price of 61,442. Seems like Dogecoin has been running awfully hot lately, running really strong. Dogecoin, and it's made it up to the number 5 position. Now, this is really funny. It's actually funny in a way, because it was actually started as a joke. And right now, they got, what is that? 40-something billion dollar industry. Now, can you imagine a $40 billion industry was started as a joke? That was Dogecoin, and the dog behind it is he's an awful cute. They're awful cute breed. That particular breed. I can't think of the name right now for some reason. I'm having a brain fart, guys. Anyway, let's move on. Let's take a look now at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. 34,156. It's up 120 points. But I told you guys this was coming. There. And I think it's going to continue right through a number of months now. It's the stimmy money has having an effect upon the market. And it did last time. It did the same thing last time. Remember, 2.2 trillion stimulus in March of 2020, I think it was March. The 2.2 trillion stimulus, and the market was down, like really down, and it's we can look at the chart here for a second. Where's my chart on this market? We can go back and we can see. Let me see. Is it going to let me see? It's way down in here. And the market come up and up and up and up and up, on that last stimulus. It had the effect it had lasted almost like a year, It's just constantly pumping the market up. Now they've done the new stimulus. And there's talk of infrastructure programs, more and more. And so, yeah, the market's being buoyed on this, and it's probably going to continue to be buoyed till the stimulus runs out, or until they start to, if the Fed even hints at tightening. If they start to tighten, then the market will react to that. And they will be very sorry, because I'm going to tell you, the market's been pumped up so high that any reaction is going to be an overreaction. Let me take a look here, and we're going to take a look now at the crude oil price at 63.06. It's fell off just a little bit today, 40 cents. We're going to move on to the move index now. The move index is at 59.05, and the move index has been dropping, continuously dropping. It's back down into the 50s again. It was up into the 70s there. But now it's back down into the 50s. Now we're going to take a look at bonds and rates. Now we're seeing bond yields climb a little bit, but they're just making up for ground that they lost yesterday, We're looking at the U.S. 10-year at 1.585, and the U.S. 30-year at 2.27, and yields are up about 5 or 6 basis points today on these bond yields. Now we're going to take a look at our dollar index. The dollar index is 91.56, and we're looking at a fallen dollar today. Generally, when you see a day when you see the dollar falling, generally it maintains strength in gold and in silver. Those are the nemesis of the dollar. Now we have a new nemesis for the dollar, cryptocurrencies. So, used to be for years and years, up until about, I don't know, probably starting in around 2013. The dollar, the nemesis for the dollar was only gold and silver. And those are the only two roads out of the dollar, Everything else is connected to the dollar. But now there's a new way out of the dollar, and that's cryptocurrency. So you got gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies. Look at that as the exit door for the dollar. You know what you'd think in your mind, like if you were not a financial analyst, you didn't know anything about finance, and you were thinking about trying to get out of the dollar because you're scared of the dollar, you wanted to hedge. What you'd think in your mind is there must be thousands of different ways to buy out of the dollar. That's what you'd think in your mind. And then if you found out that there's only one exit door, gold, silver, and cryptos, it seems like an awful small exit door, considering, that this is the whole world we're talking about here. What's going to happen is at a certain point in time when the instability really starts to hit, people start to realize that their money is on its way to becoming worthless. Then they're going to run for that exit door all at once. Now, we have already had a few people, the early ones, that have run for the exit door already. You guys out there in my audience might be part of that crowd, But the vast majority of them, they don't have that realization that their fiat currencies are actually in jeopardy. When they all run for the door, it's going to be the amount of pressure. I'll tell you what it's like. It's going to be like Niagara Falls trying to get through a garden hose. That's what it's going to be when that final, and it's going to be sudden. It's going to be a sudden thing that's going to start suddenly. Almost like if you had a big auditorium full of people, and there's one little exit door, and somebody yelled fire. It's going to be a sudden thing. Boom! They're all going to head for that exit door, and they're going to try to buy into the cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. But it's going to be impossible to get real physical metal. And they're going to still be they're still going to be holding their dry powder, their dollars, wanting to buy. Impossible to get physical metal at that point in time. So what do you think they're going to do? Well, they're going to turn to crypto. Because they're going to be able to actually buy some crypto. But they're not going to buy it, That's when the government's going to say, hey, they're probably going to say, hey, we got to ban this stuff. So, I mean, ultimately, in the end, I don't think they can ever really ban gold and silver, It's just, I mean, what are they going to do? Come to people's houses and knock on the door and say, you got to give us Aunt Martha's earrings? A precious heirloom you've had in the family for 20 years? No, I don't think that's going to happen, I predicted a long time ago that we are actually going to see when the gold and silver, when this happens, and everybody runs for the exit door and try to buy physical gold and silver, you're going to see these gold and silver places spring up all across America. In these vacant stores or whatever, you're going to see they'll plaster a sign on the window, Overnight, it'll happen. They'll plaster a sign on the window that says, we buy gold, we buy silver. And the price will be going up so high on the stuff that they will buy things that right now they don't buy. Like if you walked into a gold and silver coin dealer or whatever, and you had some silver-plated cutlery, it's just got silver plating on it, They used to do that with the old cutlery, by the way. In fact, if you moved a few years earlier, the cutlery, which is forks, knives, things they used to be solid silver. But then a few years later, they started to just put a silver plating on them. They'll even buy the silver plated stuff. They will buy, when it gets really tough here, they'll start buying things like things that are gold filled, not really gold, but what's called gold filling. They'll buy that. They'll buy everything that's even got. They'll buy any stuff you got. They'll even buy in the end when they get really desperate. And you know what this is going to lead to, too? At a certain point, when the price gets high enough on gold and silver, it's going to lead to an awful lot of people going and salvaging these old computers and stuff in landfills and old cell phones and stuff and trying to salvage the gold and silver out of them. That's going to be like a gold rush. People, it's going to be ridiculous what's coming. It's going to be so bad that an awful lot of these mines across America and places are abandoned. You ever an abandoned mine? They abandon the mine because they get down to the point where it's nothing left but tailings. You know what they call tailings? They'll reoccupy some of these abandoned mines and start staking claims again when the price gets high enough on the physical metals. So they will resupply the market with gold and silver eventually, you know, because it's going to be a gold rush. It's going to create a gold rush. What's called a gold rush, where everybody's out. Anyway, listen, thank you guys for listening to my show this morning. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.